Okay, and there you have it. I'm walking out of Inwood Hill Park now, and I opened the walk with the eating of a delicious sumo orange from Mitsuya, and then gave a little glimpse of the awesome neighborhood I live in and the little-known caves of Manhattan. And I'll wind up this video with not going past an unleashed dog, that's for sure. With a few words about my field and my career, and why I keep these videos unedited, and the difference in the life of information in two different but equally important phases. One being the idea capture phase, in which information, you just sort of pull it in with minimal filtering, and maybe you do some selective real-time filtering as it comes in, either using pause or just selecting your subject matter carefully. And that's where people like keep notebooks, people who keep notebooks on them all the time. And that kind of information generally doesn't get published to the general public. But we're in a different day and age, so long as there's no secrets or proprietary knowledge slipping out, there's no reason to not make the public information repository your own personal one. And that's kind of what I'm doing with these YouTube videos. I don't care much whether people really watch them or not. The subscriber number is fun because that's building up for something in the future, which falls under the second category in the life of information, which is categorizing information. Imposing order, hierarchy, meaning, all those things that humans strive to do, and the general preparation of the information for consumption by the general public. And that is what I guess people mostly strive for, and they sort of leave the starting gate of the information race planning on doing that. But that is so time consuming, and in its own way is its entirely own separate field and profession, that I've decided to dedicate myself more to the information capture and almost the log file, and in blog terms the reverse chronology, or in Twitter terms the stream. Because when you think about it, life is lived as that stream. Life is lived as the log file. Order is not imposed on things at the moment you experience a thing. It's imposed afterwards, after you've had time to reflect, sort through what you've collected in your psyche and on your camera. And, it's not enough time in the day to do that for everything. Yet, people who are these kind of torrents of ideas, who feel some inherent value in their ideas and want to capture it, but know they're only going to implement like one or two significant things in their life, still should have an opportunity to get into that game of publishing. And that's what I'm doing here. And that's why I'm using this silly Google Glass from the Explorer program still, even though they shut down the program, because on a morning like this, I get to not have to hold out a camera. I get to not look like even more of a dork of using one of those poles that holds the camera out in front of you. I just look like someone talking to myself, which in this day and age is no different than talking to someone on your cell phone with one of those Apple headphones that's also a mic. So, oh, by the way, snow's almost entirely melted when I take this path up through Isham Park. No longer risking my neck. Yay! This is my more frequent walk, because going down to Inwood Hill Park, as you can hear from me getting winded, is harder, quite a workout. And that's good too. So, information, flow, two different categories. Oh, well, it's worth giving a nod to the fact that a giant war had been waged once upon a time between the organizers of information in the, taxonomy sense, Ontology, which was the Yahoo human edited directory at the dawn of the web, and Google, which came a few years later, which was the algorithmic machine sorting, indexing, and sort of on-the-fly creating of associations and groupings that humans could never keep pace with. And we all know who won. So in the end, throwing everything into a giant vat, and then having some magic stirring of the vat that sorts it out into its ingredients, right almost in real time as the questions are asked, as you query it, is the winning formula, at least in today's world. But there's indexes that are built. People talk about the Google index. And I often think people have no idea what they're really talking about. Well, when the Googlebot crawler goes out and scans site after site and explores every little nook and cranny of the internet, pulling in structured data, so much stuff, the resulting data is massive. There's no way that can be queried every time you type a few keywords into search. So they scan through it and they look for things that they can use as an index. In other words, they look for the same word or combination of words recurring one or more times in different important areas of the page. Therefore, the old search engine optimization wisdom of lining up the crosshairs. You put the exact word you're targeting in your title tag, in a headline-like element, in your meta description, in your URL, etc. And you give Google all the clues it needs when it comes in to build its index. That's changed a little bit, especially now with the updates that are called Hummingbird, where all that, let's call it the great unwashed masses of long-tail data that exists on the internet, is not given equal weighting. Pages that have proved, due to other factors, to be more important are given higher billing. And they're all scanned, and Google strives to search those or serve those pages in response to a query. And lacking any better match, it will then start to dig into the dregs, the indexed dregs of the long-tail internet, which still can be quite effective for you, but less effective than it used to be in the age of landing page generator, spam cannon fodder, and crosshair alignment. But where that brings us today is that if you jump on the bandwagon of the stream, of the feed, and capture everything, trusting algorithms of the future to sort it out and to auto-write your memoirs from the trail that you leave, you ought to be doing everything you can to help those tools index, especially creating an index of your very own, using words in your talking, because eventually voice recognition will come in and do its thing, that are the exact word arrangement that you think people will be using to look you up in the future, to look up the topics you're talking about in the future. When you publish them, you should use the same exact word arrangement in the name of your video file before you drag it to YouTube or whatever, because YouTube certainly is going to remember what your file was named when you uploaded it. And that automatically gets filled in as the title of your video, etc. And then your keywords, you should not overstuff your keywords in YouTube. You should just use enough that you know that you're going to be drawing in the audience you're looking for. And there you have it. That's what I'm doing with these videos and these walks. And this brings us back to where we started. Here's my car, which will be taken out today to the in-laws in Staten Island, and seeing their new baby Bouvier, baby bear, that Addie is so excited about. She's going to be helping to raise, quote, her own puppy. And that'll be a lot of fun. Good weekend activity. Thanks for joining me. Hope to talk to you soon. And don't forget to subscribe.